What?
It's time now for My Two Favorite Librarians. Brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dale's Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.
Hi, this is My Two Favorite Librarians. I'm Denise Corey.
I'm Chantel Taylor, and today we're talking about
An author who shares your zodiac sign.
Okay.
I know you keep calling it birthday authors.
Well, it's the same.
No, because it's not necessarily someone who shares your birthday. It's somebody who shares your zodiac sign. Do you believe in zodiac signs? Do you think that they have an impact in your life?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I'm judging you.
I love my zodiac sign. And I could bring it up, but I think it's very... I mean, technically they do these like sort of tests where they hand out sheets like in classrooms and say, oh, is this like your zodiac? And it's the exact same like description for everyone.
Yeah, basically.
But I do think mine is fairly apt.
So you're a Cancer?
Yes.
And I'm an Aries.
Yes. We could not date each other.
That is not a concern.
Well, no, but we couldn't.
So what you're saying is I can't date anyone who has a Cancer.
Yes.
Okay. I'll remember that. Take that to heart. Keep it right here.
I do.
So I know you and I talked about this a little bit beforehand
Yes.
because you're a little bit cranky. I mean, about this. Also in general, but about this.
I did actually on my initial search. So after we recorded last time, I did a really quick search and I was like, oh, there's no one. And then once I started looking, I did actually find a few contemporary authors. And I did actually find one author that I've actually read.
Really?
Yes.
Well, why don't you start then?
Oh, did you not find an author that you've...
I found an author that I've read, but you know. So I went to a site called famousbirthdays.com.
I think that might have been where I went to.
And I got some big authors.
You do. I did find some big ones eventually.
I have some biggies. So James Patterson is an Aries. Tom Clancy was an Aries. Kate DiCamillo, which not everybody may know, but she wrote some...
A children's author.
Yeah. She wrote Because of Winn-Dixie and The Tale of Despereaux. Hans Christian Andersen was an Aries.
Yes.
I feel like I should be a mermaid. Anthony Horowitz, the playwright Tennessee Williams. I just love his stuff. And Margaret Peterson Haddix. She's Australian. I read a bunch of her books.
Yeah. Is she an adult or is she like a kid's author?
Like a kid's author. Yeah, so this one is a Pop Sugar Reading Challenge prompt.
Yes.
And now I have to figure out what I'm going to read for this.
Okay.
And why is it that we're talking about zodiac signs this week?
Because it's your birthday this week.
My birthday is this week.
And they've made it an official holiday this year.
Yes. Some years that happens. And I am a terribly vain person who believes everybody should celebrate my birthday.
And we do.
Seems fair. I don't know what I'm going to read, though. So I have read a book. I have read a couple books by Margaret Peterson Haddix.
Yes.
I started
not this year, though.
No. I started reading her series before. And of course, I've read Hans Christian Andersen. And I've read Kate DiCamillo. I've read like maybe 2 books by James Patterson.
Yeah, I read Kiss the Girls, I think. And that was enough.
I'm really... Tom Clancy isn't really my genre of choice. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to read. I don't know what to read.
That's hard. Would you like to hear some of mine?
Now that you are way less cranky about it?
Yeah, there's all kinds of exciting things on here. Would you like to read some Kafka?
No.
Would you like to read some Proust?
Didn't he write the longest book ever?
Possibly, yes. Raymond Chandler. We read some Raymond Chandler. We just
got a gun on the cover.
We did it for book and movie night.
Big Sleep.
Yes, The Big Sleep. Thank you. So, Ernest Hemingway. I read The Old Man and the Sea.
Did you?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe I didn't read it all.
It's not long.
I know, but George Orwell.
George Orwell is a good author.
I did read Animal Farm because probably in school.
You didn't read 1984?
I can't actually remember. I may have blocked it out.
It really does strike me as the kind of thing you would absolutely loathe.
Yeah, it was before I read. If I read 1984, it would be before I read The Handmaid's Tale because it would have been in. Because I feel like we read Animal Farm in high school.
I didn't read that in school.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have just picked up Animal Farm. Lord of the Flies, those are all school books.
PEI taught different things, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. Dean Koontz.
Okay.
So there's a good one.
Yeah.
I have read some Dean Koontz.
I've read the Odd Thomas series, and I like that series a lot.
I read book 1.
And then I tried to read other books by him, and I didn't like any of them. So, yeah, I read the Odd Thomas series.
Yes, I read the first book for our book club.
Yeah. And
you
then
ruined it for me.
Why?
You told me who died like halfway through the book by accident, but nonetheless.
Because I named my car after that character.
Yes.
And that is all I'm going to say. But then I read other books by him, and I couldn't get into them. I didn't like them. I like that Odd Thomas series, and then his other books.
That's fine.
Also, his author photos are very odd.
I wasn't going to mention those, but they get weirder.
He's like aging in reverse.
Yeah. He's no longer bald.
Yeah. I think there was some intervention there.
Yes. But not the usual intervention. I don't know.
He's a Benjamin Button of authors.
Would you like a few Canadian authors I can throw in?
Yes.
Margaret Lawrence.
Well, then, aren't you special?
Never read anything by her.
Of course you haven't.
What did she write? Is she Diviners?
Yes.
Okay, I did read The Diviners.
Okay.
Louise Penny.
Okay.
I have read because she did that detective.
She has a whole big series about a detective
in Montreal.
Yeah.
Or just outside of Montreal.
Quebec, I was going to say. But yeah.
So I did read one of those for book club. So look at me. Alice Munro. Definitely haven't read anything by her.
Why do you hate Canadian books so much?
We've already discussed this. They're terrible.
I just don't understand you.
All right. And I did find I have a few biggies.
Okay.
Clive Kessler.
All right. Have you read any Clive Kessler?
No.
I feel like they all take place on submarines.
Yeah, I'm not really much into the like spy.
Me either.
Yeah.
No.
Michael Conley.
Okay.
And Barbara Cartland.
Oh, see, there's somebody you can get behind. You should read some Barbara Cartland around your birthday.
Maybe I will.
Yeah. I feel like that is something. Although, when did she stop writing?
I don't know if she made it into the 80s. I know she was still alive in like the 90s, wasn't she?
But she stopped.
I'm not sure that she was writing. Yeah. So it's not going to be my favorite romance.
Yeah. So it's going to be a very 1970s kind of romance. And some of those were pretty
hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I've read a couple of those. Even in the 90s, they were still like a bit squishy.
There's not always a lot of consent happening.
A lot of issues around.
So, yeah, I have to make a decision about who I'm going to read for this. And now I have been, when I finish a book, I'm like trying to see if I can find the author's birthday to determine if they're an Aries so I can slot them in.
So do you have anything from your list that you're like, maybe?
No, I don't. No. Because I don't really want to go read some James Patterson, and some of these other ones I've already read.
You could try to read one of his like middle school books.
I read one of his teen books, and it was about a witch, and I loathed it so much.
Yeah, I tried to read the one with it was like almost like a mutant series. I think it was Angel or something.
Right.
And
yeah, so it seems unlikely that I'm going to want to read that. What I have read by James Patterson, I read the first one in the Women's Murder Club. So
I think I read some of that. I didn't finish it.
First to Die, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it might be, yeah.
And then
I like the television show.
I read Sundays at Tiffany's. which is, very not murdery.
Yeah. He really likes to like cross all the genres.
Yeah. And I think I read some of someone's letter to Suzanne or Suzanne's letter to somebody. And then I was just like, meh. So I know he's very, very popular and people like to read James Patterson. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't read what makes you happy. It just doesn't make me happy. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Like I said, I've just been like...
Who else is on your list?
Tom Clancy. No. Kate DiCamillo. I've already read Because of Winn-Dixie.
Who else? Like, I'm Googling things now. Ooh, Leah Bardugo.
I don't know who that is.
I believe... Ooh, we may be able to find you some Leah Bardugo. Do you not... Shadow and Bone. There's a new series coming out, and that might be Leah Bardugo. It's like a fantasy young adult series. You might be able to get on board with that.
Yeah, I need something. I just keep Googling authors to see when their birthdays are. I'm reading the Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I was looking up her birthday. She does not release it. So it's not always easy to find some authors' birthdays.
Cressida Cowell. She wrote How to Train Your Dragon.
I read the first 3 books in How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, okay.
I listened to them actually on audiobook because they're read by David Tennant.
Oh, maybe you should reread one. When you're traveling, you could re-listen to one.
So
I think we should see if we can get you some Leah Bardugo.
I'll give it a try. What does it hurt? The important part is that it's my birthday this week and that people should bring me cookies.
But you're not here. Well, you are here, but nobody can bring you cookies.
I'm not here for the whole week because there's also Easter. So how about an update?
Okay. Am I updating? Because I'm not updating anything.
I have finished 20 books so far this year. And 19 of the 50 Pop Sugar Reading Challenge prompts.
Very nice.
So a little bit of math tells me that I'm a smidge behind where I need to be.
Yeah, because I think Goodreads, now I don't have as many books. I've only put in for 80 books this year. And I think I've read 17 and I'm a book behind.
But I also know that I read more in the summer. So I'm not so worried about it. As soon as I can, now that we're getting into being able to sit out on the deck, I have done that a few days after
quite
work.
there yet. We're still We're still in Fool Spring.
I have sat on my deck a few days after work and read. One day I sat out there with my big hoodie on.
And an electric blanket and an extension cord.
But I still sat on my deck.
Is the snow gone off your deck?
The snow is all gone off my deck. As of the recording of this, who knows? And I am currently reading Johnny Appleseed by Joshua Whitehead.
Which one Canada reads this year?
And which was the one when we were talking about Canada Reads a couple weeks ago, was the one that I was saying I wanted to read from that group. So now my hold has come in. So I'm a few chapters in, but the chapters aren't very long. So I'm not super far into it. It is pretty graphic in terms of its sexual explicitness. So if people are not interested in that, they will not be interested in this book because Johnny is a sex worker and he does not pull any punches about that. So
okay.
But it is a really interesting story so far. So, yeah, enjoying it doesn't seem like the right word. It's compelling and it's interesting, but it's not the kind of story where you're like enjoying it.
Yeah, that's hard.
His life is not.
Hence the reason I don't read Canadian.
Yeah. So, yeah, when I finish that, I'll be up to 21 books. And
nice.
Then the world is my oyster. How many books have you read? 17.
I read 17. I did not have a great February. For my book challenge, it was erotica month, and I didn't actually find a whole lot of erotica that I wanted to read. And so I didn't read a whole lot of anything. And now I've sort of gotten my groove back, and
What is it for March?
It's billionaires, I think.
Billionaires.
I think it's billionaires.
That's
Let me Google.
I mean, your reading challenge is very different than mine.
Yeah, it is, because it's fun.
So, are you going to read about billionaires?
I might be currently reading about billionaires right now.
Oh. Are you going to tell us what it is?
Yes, I am. I'm just Googling my challenge to see what this month is. Oh, sorry. March is fantasy romance. I did not read much. April is billionaires, so I'm getting started.
Isn't billionaires fantasy romance?
Well, technically, yeah, it really could cross over, couldn't it? But I think fantasy is supposed to be more like
dragons and whatnot.
Yeah, like things that don't actually exist in the world that apparently people want to have relationships with.
You should read the TJ Klune.
I have a couple of his on my list because Wolf Song is one that I want to read.
Because you and I are going to do a Facebook Live.
Yeah, next month. So I might do Wolf Song, but I might also do your
Dragons of Destiny.
Yes, I might try that one as well.
What are you reading right now?
So I'm currently reading...
Does it have a billionaire?
It does have a billionaire. A billionaire who bought a sex club.
Like you do.
As you do, because he has more money than he knows what to do with. So sex club seems the obvious choice.
Yeah, like don't give money to feed starving children. No. Buy a sex club.
Also, I'm assuming this is pre-COVID times. It's called Playing His Way. It's book 3 in the series. Yeah, I think it's book 3. This was the one that was recommended.
Is it a series about billionaires?
No, it's more a series about the club.
Oh, okay.
So he's the current owner, and some of his staff, I guess, in his like real business use this club, and he thought, oh, person selling it, I'm going to buy it.
So that he can pay them money, and then when they go to visit his club,
we're not talking about that. So the heroine, this is what really kills me, because it really seems like this is like a 70s book, and that's what we're talking about next week is the 70s, because the heroine is a fantasy room designer. And I thought, who is doing that in 2020? Like, who wants fantasy rooms? So he's got these sort of like, it's in like a mansion, and he's got these bedrooms, and he's like, oh, it'll be like VIP, and we'll have different themed rooms, and people can act out fantasies, so you're gonna love it. So she comes in, and there's like an Alice in Wonderland room, there's a stripper room, there's a red room of pain for 50 Shades, and he was like, what is that? That is the stupidest thing. And she's like, you're such a man. Everybody wants Christian Grey to take them to the red room of pain.
I don't particularly want any of that. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like...
It sounds really weird. Like a fantasy room. That's what she does. She goes to like famous people's houses and puts together fantasy rooms. And I thought, where is this happening?
Remember when hotels used to have a lot of those like fantasy suites that you could rent?
No.
Like I remember in Crystal Palace in Moncton, they were always like, oh yeah, we have these and they were like, you know, the jungle room and stuff. And it was like, but how much time are you?
It's a weird occupation. I was just like, this is the weirdest book. And all the women are like cross promote, like all the heroines know each other, I guess. That's the connection between the books. And like one of them makes like corsets, and one of them is like a sexual educator, and one of them designs fantasy rooms. I can't remember what the other ones do, but it's like this weird group of people, and I'm just like, where is this world with fantasy bedrooms?
So that, I mean, you could put that as a fantasy romance novel.
Maybe, yeah.
With a billionaire hiring a woman that makes fantasy rooms for rich people.
Yeah. Weird.
I mean, I guess it is a real job for somebody.
I guess. I don't know. We're spending way too much time
sorry.
on the fantasy room, but like,
And it really has very little to do with much of anything. It's just
The fact that she's built her business, she's not a interior designer. She just does fantasy rooms. Mm-hmm. That's it.
she's got a niche market.
I guess.
So let's talk about what's happening at the library.
Okay.
Everything is still virtual. I'm sorry. In terms of programs, all of our programs are still virtual, but you can go back and look at old programs that we've done through the year. They're on our Facebook page. And we have all kinds of things available online. We have LinkedIn Learning, which everybody, I think you should check out. There's just so many great courses on there. And our libraries are open. You can come in, you can borrow books, you can browse books.
But you don't have to come in. We're still offering borrow by mail, so we will send you things in the mail.
Yeah. So the library is here for you. That's what I'm saying.
And if you are looking, we're starting now to create playlists on our YouTube page to make things a little easier. So for instance, if you're looking for Cart, we'll have a link on our webpage, which will take you to a playlist where all of the carts are in one instead of having to scroll through. We've also done that with our March break as well. It makes things a little bit easier for parents to find.
Groups things together.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about next week, Chantel?
Next week, we're talking about the 70s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be
amazing. The decade of serial killers and high gas prices and mortgages.
All right. Talk to you next week.
My two favorite librarians. Brought to you by the Copper Tree Boutique in Dales Grand Market, located in beautiful, historic downtown Amherst.